We are live. Hello, everyone, and good morning to you. Good afternoon. Here coming up on the East Coast, we get ready for a big championship Saturday of college football here and a big day on the Nuke the House sports betting channel. Of course, we got a big UFC card tonight. The guys will be with you here. I think they're going to be in uh, at 3 p.m. Eastern and noon Pacific today. Not a big rush here. In fact, I don't even think I can fill the half hour. I probably could, me talking, but just go over the 5 championship games today and thank Keg, Holden, and the guys for allowing me to be here on the Nuke the House channel here this season. The championship Saturday, yeah, we got a big bowl game, but you know how those games come all the way. Hey, follow me on Nuke the House. I'll be having some bowl picks in there. Not have any picks behind the paywall today because I'm giving you all my picks right here, right now, with the preview of the 5 championship games. And hey, I might have a little extra action for you here too, as well. Stay tuned. I've got 3 FCS picks today. The FCS is on ESPN Plus. You can't get enough football with just 5 games. Tune into ESPN Plus at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific, and you're going to have 8 football games just kind of wrapping around. Well, 7, one game late tonight, but more action to watch here during the games. While you're watching some of the other games, you can check out the action on ESPN Plus there with the FCS playoffs. I have 3 plays for you coming up right now at the end of the previews here, but I want to get started here and spend a few minutes with you guys. Thank you for joining me here. I already got 24 of you in here, so why not get rolling a little bit and get started on these games? Awesome games today here to not only determine conference championships, but to see who goes to the college football playoff. We don't know yet. We're not even decided. But hey, don't forget, check out nukethehouse.com. You can get behind a paywall with us. We've got a great crew here of guys offering up their premium picks every week over here at Nuke the House. You can see, join us here. Been a great season for Keg. Manny it was hitting him there the other night, wasn't he, on Thursday night with the football game there, taking those big plus dollars there on some of those games there with the player props running up the ladder a little bit, as well as that crazy game unfolded there on Thursday night between the Cowboys and the Lions. Kept kind of running up some of those numbers there. And don't forget, check out the guys today with the football and, of course, the UFC tonight from here in Las Vegas. We got a great card here tonight. The last ever pay-per-view, I think. I don't think they're ever going to go back to this model after the 7 years are up in Paramount. Who knows what streaming will look like in 7 years after they spend their $7 billion and give bunch of blackjack hands for Dana White, allow him to buy his lifetime supply of samurai swords. Anyway, tonight, though, bantamweights, Dvalishvili and Peter Yan. Dvalishvili here famously has won 14 straight, trying to defend the title for the 4th time this year as bantamweights do battle, and there's some other great bouts as well. So check the guys out. They'll be here along at noon, 3 Eastern, noon Pacific. I think I saw the start time back there, so I hope I got it right. I don't think they're coming on for the first. Just a big schedule, big night here on Nuke the House. All right, let's get going with the games here today and start it off with the Big 12 Championship at Jerry World here with BYU and Texas Tech. Boy, it does seem like the issue here for BYU might be to try to find the points here, if you know what I mean. They struggled to score in the first meeting between these two teams. That might be kind of the underlying issue here between BYU and Texas Tech. That BYU really just couldn't get it going in the first meeting offensively, losing 29-7 back on November the 8th. Both teams come in here 8-1. Texas Tech ranked fourth currently in the country. And hey, Texas Tech, I mean, they're no slouch here. They're getting 12 and a half points. Here, BYU getting 12 and a half. In fact, it's up to 13 here right now. With Texas Tech, maybe even tacking on a half a point here as we approach the big noon kickoff. Total here is climbed here to 51 here this afternoon. A little bit of push here, maybe back down to 50 and a half, but nonetheless, has trickled up here. BYU ranked 11th in the country. These two coaches aren't going anywhere. Shiitake just turned down, or at least said no thanks to Penn State. I'll stay here in BYU. He's going to be a BYU guy for a long time. And Texas Tech, I think they're going to be satisfied with their coach here coming in as well in McGuire. So BYU with Bachmeier, nearly 2,500 yards passing. And don't forget Rush for 529, 3,000 total yards is what I meant to say. Combined 25 touchdowns as well. LJ Martin, 1,200 yards rushing, 12th in the nation. So BYU can get it done, especially if they get into a little bit of a tug of war here with that's what they need. I know Texas Tech is a two touchdown favorite here and all, but I don't know if I'm necessarily seeing it that way in this matchup. So for me, I kind of like this one to be a BYU in the under as far as getting the money. I think Texas Tech can still win this game. I mean, they've had an incredible season as well. They're 11-1 straight up and 11-1 against the spread. Who wouldn't want to back those guys? 7-1 against the spread as a favorite. But BYU went 9-3 against the spread as well. So maybe, just maybe, I know Texas Tech looks like they're on a different level this year. I get that. Texas Tech jumped past Georgia in the college football playoff poll to get in that coveted fourth spot, which could mean a week one bye. So they do want to have a good win here. But I feel like there's a little bit of mojo with this BYU team, a little bit, at least for this game. Both teams are here for the first time. So Texas Tech is kind of up there with those top teams now, Indiana, Ohio State, probably Oregon. We'll see what happens here this afternoon to get started top of the hour here. BYU 2-4 or 1-2 to the under as an underdog here in this one. I've got it 28-20. Texas Tech to win over BYU. BYU picking up a few points along the way. This one is not, in Lubbock or anything. So I'm going to take this one 28-20 Texas Tech over BYU. Hey, I want to hear from you guys in the chat. We've got 3 dozen of you here already. We're running up to kickoff here. I'll go next up with the MAC. Hey, the Middle American Conference was doing conference tournaments when conference tournaments weren't cool. They've been doing it for a long time, especially at Ford Field in Detroit. Western Michigan here is a slight favorite here, 1.5 total, 43.5 here in this one with Western Michigan taking on Miami of Ohio. Western Michigan has won 4 straight coming in. They are 5-1-1 against the spread as a favorite. Meanwhile, Miami of Ohio just 1-4 against the spread as an underdog coming into this game. Western Michigan with consecutive wins here over Central Michigan, Ohio, NIU, Eastern Michigan. Miami won the regular season meeting 26-17. So I do like the revenge factor, I think, here in this one. And I think this one, look, 43.5. I think it could go over here with these two. That's the way I'm going to play it here, actually. I've got Western Michigan to win this one 27-23 and win the Middle American Conference Championship game, the MAC. at Ford Field. Miami has won and covered their last two over Ball and Buffalo. They've scored 82 points in those games, but before that, they lost at home to Toledo 24-3. They also lost at Ohio as a 2.5 point dog. And before that was the Western Michigan game. So they went 2-2 after that win over Western Michigan. So give me Western Michigan here, 27-23 in the MAC title game. All right, the only one talking to me in the chat's the spam. Hey, I've talked to my AI girlfriend. I'll talk to the spam. Okay, let's keep it moving here right now and go to the big one tonight with Georgia and Alabama. Alabama coming in here, ranked 9th, 10-2 record. Georgia ranked 3rd, 11-1 here. We've seen this one before, right? At Atlanta, Mercedes-Benz Stadium with Georgia and Alabama. Yeah, I think so. It's like their annual second meeting. Alabama won the first one 24-21 this season as a 2.5 point dog. It's Alabama that's 7-3-2 against the spread. Georgia just 5-7. I took Alabama to win the national championship when Holden called me out on it. Said, "Hey, you're joining our team this year as our college football analyst. Would have liked to have had some better results with the premiums there, but I said I like Alabama with Kalen DeBoer at 10-1. I guess I can stick with it here. Look, they're not as good as those top teams now. I get that, but maybe in this game against Georgia, after they've already beaten Georgia once this season, I know there's gonna be a lot of people on Georgia in this one for sure. Because hey, why not? It's been a pretty terrific season here in the top four, but you know what? I'm going to take Alabama to get it. The thing is for me, Georgia, they're in no matter what. If they lose this game, they're going to the college football playoffs still, and they could still have a bye. I don't know if Alabama may end up getting the top 4 seed back if that happens. So maybe that a little bit of motivation there for Georgia here. But look, I think this one's all about the defense here. I'm going to take Alabama to win this one 23-20 in an upset. Give me the Tide in this one over Georgia. I'm on Alabama just because, like I said, hey, Scotty Boy, nice to see Scotty Boy in the chat. Someone said hello. But like I said, when they said, "What do you like?" I was just basing it on the odds at the time. I said, "Look, if I can get Kalen DeBoer at 10-1, give me Alabama." So I took Alabama here as my first official declaration on the Nuke the House channel. I'll stick with them here. They got to win this game to have really a chance and get in. They need a bye for sure, and make sure they don't get upset there, and we'll see what happens with these other teams. About to talk about it in just a second. So give me Alabama to win here over Georgia tonight. Okay, next up, very, very important situation here with Virginia and Duke in the ACC championship game in Charlotte. James Madison, they're rooting for Duke right now because if Duke can win, James Madison might get in there as a number 12 seed here in the college football playoff. Virginia, meanwhile, look, they could win, get in with the win, but if Duke wins, they're still going to be hard pressed here, even as the conference champions supposed to get in, and it'll shake things up for sure. They're only a 4-point dog, but Virginia feels like the much better team actually to me right now. They won the regular season game 34-17 at Duke. They were an underdog in that game, believe it or not. Virginia in that game doesn't seem to make much sense now. They seem much the best here. Both teams, Virginia 7-2 in conference play, coming in here with wins over Duke and Virginia Tech. It was a couple weeks ago, that Duke game. Duke comes in here, meanwhile, with a win and cover over Carolina, a win and cover over Wake Forest, but they're just 1-2 against the spread as a dog. Virginia was 8-4 against the spread this season. So let's see how you have. If you have any comments in the chat, let me know. I'd like to hear from you. But I think Virginia can get this win here confidently in this one. I'm going to take Virginia to win this game and cover in the 28-21 range here, maybe in this one, maybe a little bit higher. Maybe it could go 31-23. How about that? I think that seems a little bit more solid. I like Virginia to win and cover here. I'll call it 31-23, 31-24, right about that range in here. Virginia's two losses were by 4 and 7 points, but the Cavs have won 9 of their last 10 coming in. Cavaliers have actually won 9 of the last 10 meetings between these two teams as well, even though Duke's had a nice team here of late over the last couple of years. Still, this is kind of they're kind of the lucky team. What can I say? They're 7-5 overall. They've they've failed to win in 4 games when they've scored less than 32 points. I don't think they're going to score 32 or more here against Virginia tonight. They got a good quarterback, and they've had some good records with Diaz, 9-5. ATS is a dog, 21-11 against the spread in conference games. Duke has gone over in 8 of their last 11, but I see it as an under here. 31-24, Virginia. All right, Wake Forest and Duke. Another, Wake Forest and Duke. Indiana and Ohio State. We just did that one. Or we didn't do that one, but you know what I mean. Wake Forest and Duke, that was on the show last week, wasn't it? Indiana and Ohio State here in the big one, the Big Ten championship at Indianapolis. Indiana's playing their basketball game today in Indianapolis as well. They go to the basketball game, then the football game. But look, Ohio State here. I love this Indiana program. They're here to stay. I think what Cignetti said, turning down other offers to stay here in Indiana, said, why would I want to go anywhere? I have what I need here to win at Indiana. Anywhere else, I'd have to do it all over again. So I like the confidence, really, of Cignetti for sure here. And look, I think this will benefit them for a long time. Indiana is a football school right now, and no reason why he won't at least keep this team extremely competitive. Sure. Does it feel like a once in a lifetime opportunity? Maybe so. Maybe Cignetti will move on eventually after Indiana comes back down to earth, after they don't have a Heisman Trophy leading quarterback in Fernando Mendoza. So I just think it's too much, though, here. And I've got Ohio State to win and cover likely in this one. I'm going to say probably somewhere in the range for me of 34-27. I like this one as a high scoring game, actually. I know that everyone, the defense of Ohio State, but Indiana's got something special here. There's no doubt about it. But I just think, now look, I don't think it's a home field advantage necessarily for IU in Indianapolis. I think if anything, right, it's neutral because Ohio State will be bringing it. With the fans for sure here. So I'm going to call it in the range maybe of 34-27 here, maybe 31-24. I think somewhere in that range. Maybe that sounds a little more realistic. 31-24, Ohio State to get the win. That still takes it over. So that'll be my prediction here. 31-24 OSU here today. And that's it for those. So let me give you 3 picks here, and then we're going to get on out of here. Want to enjoy you guys to enjoy it, get settled in for the big one between BYU and Texas Tech. So we're not going to lead right up to the kickoff here, but I've got 3 games in FCS play today, and I want to cover those here right now with Villanova and Lehigh. I have the under here in this one in the FCS playoffs here with Villanova and Lehigh here. Villanova comes in 10-2. Lehigh is undefeated. Still going to be tough for Lehigh. They are favored by 4 points at home here in this one, but I'd like the under here at 48. Also, look, I'm never probably going to go against North Dakota, even if they're up against Tarleton here on the road, having to go down to Texas, but I think it's still a close game here. You got North Dakota. Maybe it's been, a little bit of an off season for North Dakota. Here coming in at 8-5. Tarleton has been terrific here for sure, but I'm going to take North Dakota. I've got as a close game here in this one. I'm going to take 4.5 points here with North Dakota. And one more here in the FCS. I like Montana State here to blast Yale in this one. Montana State 10-2. Yeah, Yale coming in here 9-2, but I think Montana State gets this one by at least 4 touchdowns. The send-out was 22.5. I was licking my chops, never had a chance to get that number, but I think 4 touchdowns here is reasonable for Montana State. I do think it is a mismatch. I do think, for me, if I don't see you guys again, I like Montana to win the national championship. I'm a Grizz fan, so yeah, they might not. I think Montana is looking great. They're 11-1. Still be a tough game against South Dakota State today. They're only favored by 2.5 in that one, but man, it's going to be good. And then tonight, late night, Rhode Island and UC Davis in a late game. Davis favored by a touchdown over the Rams. Want to thank the guys at Nuke the House for a great season here this year. I'm going to have a few bowl picks along the way, but gave you all my picks here really today on the show. So thank you again to Nuke the House. Make sure you're here with the guys today. I had a great season here. I'll be back with Holden again on some Sundays as well, previewing the NFL action. So just have a great sports betting day. And thank you so much to the guys here. That's a great channel, Nuke the House, man. This is the way I like to do things with, I like to call it one-off coverage, right? Anybody can watch those big channels, but when you got a special handicapper like Keg and his guys and that great analysis that they have as they watch the games is just terrific here on the Nuke the House channel. So look, the more I talk, the more the spam comes in, because that's how legitimate we are here on Nuke the House and bringing me on to do these games. Hello to Gerardo in the chat in there. Nice to see you, Gerardo, as well. All right, that's going to do it. Again, great season here of college football. Nuke the House channel. Really enjoyed it. Hope to be back with you here on these airwaves. I'll find my way to the airwaves here with these guys here this season. Maybe we get into some basketball as well. All right, that's going to do it for Nuke the House. I'm Ramon Scott. Thank you so much, everyone, and we'll see you next time.